everyone, hope you're all fine. In this video we are going to draw a sketch and create an architectural form based on an oblique cut in cylinder. So I hope you all practiced, you all have watched the introduction episode, and now you are ready to follow me in this sketch. Okay, first of all, to draw a cylinder I need to draw a cube, as you may all know. Now I draw a square for the base. Now I extrude this square to draw the correct vertical line. You can compare it with the edge of the sheet or your paper. Okay, now same here, I draw the vertical line. Now parallel to this side, I draw a line here, parallel. Isometric is the best way for ideating because we don't have vanishing point. We don't need to be worried about scales or vanishing points, so we can just follow the parallel lines and draw in an easy way. Okay, so I have the cube. Now the base of the cylinder is a circle, so I need to draw a circle enclosed within this square. So I draw the diagonals, I find the midpoint. Now parallel to this line, I draw a line to find the midpoints of these two sides. Same for these two other sides. Now I have these 4 points, which I should draw 4 arcs between each 2 points to finally have a complete circle. So the point is just that in these 4 points you just need to actually touch the side. You know, I mean that you shouldn't turn very fast. First you touch, you move close to the side of the square, then you turn. Same here, you turn in a way that you are get close to the side of the square. Okay, now for the simple, the normal cylinders, we just extrude these circle, and here we have another circle, we attach them. But now when we want to have an oblique cut in the cylinder, first of all we make this oblique cut in the cube. So on this surface I draw the oblique line. Now on this side I continue and draw a line parallel to this side. Then here, when I draw a line between these 2 points, it's parallel to the first oblique line. Now you see we have a cut, an oblique cut in this cube. Now it's time to draw the top side of the oblique, actually the cylinder with oblique cut. So here, instead of this square, I have a rectangle. So same method, we draw the diagonals of this rectangle, I find the midpoint. Now parallel to this line, I found the midpoints of these 2 sides. Parallel to this oblique line, I found the midpoint of these 2 sides. Now same, we draw the oblique, an oval enclosed within this rectangle. So because this is not a square, it's a rectangle, so this round shape will be an oval, not a circle. Okay, now it's time to link these two sides. Okay, this point is actually this point. Don't mix them up. This point is on the diagonal of this rectangle, and this point is same point on the diagonal of this square. So I link these two points. Now we come to this point. This point is on the side of the rectangle, and this point as well is on the side of the square. I link these 2 points. Now here the same, it's on the diagonal, so I attach these 2 points. This point is on the side of the rectangle, so I draw a line between these 2 points on the side of the square. Now I have an oblique cut in a cylinder. Okay, now I want to have another cylinder here, so parallel to X. I want to find the correct location of the other cylinder. I choose to draw the next one here. So again, I have the peripheral square. I draw the diagonals. I find the midpoint parallel to X, parallel to Y. Now draw 4 arcs to get to a complete circle. Now I extrude this cube by drawing the vertical lines from each corner. Now I want it to be shorter than the first one, so if this was this much was the height of the first cube, I will have this much for the height of the second one. Now I complete drawing the cube. Okay, now I want to have an oblique cut in this direction. So again, I make a cut in the initial cube. In this rectangle, I draw the diagonals, I find the midpoints. Now 4 points I have to help me draw this oval. Now it's time to attach these 2 sides. Now you see I have 2 separate cylinders with an oblique cut. Okay, so I want to make a connection between these 2 forms. So if I draw a ring parallel to this side of the base. So if I have three levels here, this would have two levels. Be careful that I'm drawing this ring, this floor line parallel to the base and the bottom base of this cylinder, not the oval, the actually oblique one. Okay, now I have the levels now. Now I can link them in a correct way. So first I select the entrance of this bridge which is coming out of this cylinder. Now parallel to Y, I come up from these four corners. Now here I choose this entrance part. Then from these 4 points on the cylinder, I draw lines parallel to X axis. Okay, somewhere they get, we have a junction here. They connect. Okay, now you see we have an L-shaped bridge connecting these two forms. Okay, so I want to have another part coming out of this cylinder here. So again, first I decide about this part on the body of the cylinder, which is the entrance of this form where it meets the cylinder. Now parallel to X, I come out, and now parallel to Y, and I have a deck here which is maybe is used to watch and have a view to the nature of the environment. So I draw the thickness of the walls, the roof and the floor, and then I make a hole in this cube. So with these hatches, I show the hole. Here is darker, so the lines, the hatches are closer to each other. Okay. Now here it's a long bridge, so it needs some columns under it to support this bridge. We should pay attention to the structure as well because we are not just sketchers, we are architects, that we should care about the structure, the architectural matters. So I draw some columns under this bridge. And the other side is not visible. Okay, I draw the thickness of the roof and the floor of this bridge. Here the same. Now I can have the window frames here to have a transparent bridge. Since we are drawing in nature, it's better to have more transparent forms. Okay, the structure maybe would be a good idea to show. The depth of this vertical frames. When you add these details, it makes your drawing more technical. Okay, so let's come back to these two forms. I want to have a sky, a sunlight here, a skylight. So this part would be solid, but this part I want to have windows, the skylights. So to find, I want to have a setback here to find the correct curve for the bottom side. I draw a line, vertical line. For example, it's 5 millimeters. So I draw 5 millimeter line here as well. So here is done. We cannot see it anymore. Same here. We continue. You see, here is the end point, because after that we cannot see this 5 millimeter line anymore. Now I draw the curve, the oval, based on the end of these lines. Now I will have the window frames toward the sky. Now here can be like this, the thickness of this wall. Now I have a setback here. I have a hole actually. Now same story. This, for example, 1 centimeter line I draw and I see from this point. After that we cannot see anymore. Okay, so here under this bridge I want to have entrance here, but with a setback. So I repeat drawing a curve parallel to this curve to make a setback. I darken this part, then you can see the entrance better. Now let me draw some vertical hatches on this body. Here maybe I will show the material, the wooden material of this deck. Then same here, parallel to X. Okay, we can have another deck, same here. So again, first I draw the entrance of this form, the junction, the part which the cube meets the cylinder. So parallel to Y, I come out of the form, then I close it with a square. So as you see, we practiced ideating and creating form based on 2 or 3 techniques. The first one and the most important one was the cut, making cuts in basic 3D forms, which was an oblique cut in cylinder. Then we have the combination of forms, that here we had cylinder and cubes, combining cubes with cylinders. You can make rotations in the forms as well for a technique to create forms. Rotation, combination makes make cut, changing the scale of the forms. All of them can help you to actually create new forms. So that's it. Now let's draw the environment. Here maybe we have some stairs. Then we have another level. We have the topography here, maybe a pathway, from this entrance part. Okay, a path maybe here, and also some stairs. The topography of the land. Okay, so you see, to draw the layer of the sloped land, we just draw this shape to show the topography of the ground. Now here we can show the nature, the slope, different parts of nature to show the environment. You can actually soften the corners. Another path here. You see, I curved the corners not to have the sharp corners here. Okay, little by little we are actually having the complete story here. Okay. Now that's it. Now it's time to take our markers to color and show the environmental elements in a better way. Okay, to start rendering, first of all, I decided about the colors that I want to use in this sketch. So here, as you see, I have different brands of alcohol markers. It's not important what's the brand or where you buy these markers, especially when you are a beginner. It's not important for you to actually have the specific brand, but Touch is the best one. Touch and Copic are the best brands for alcohol rendering markers, but as you see, I have Q Color. It's a Japanese brand. It's really good. And I have Basic. You see, in different countries, in different areas, some brands are available and some are not. So it's not important the brand of the marker. It's just the colors, the codes that you need to buy. We mostly need browns for wood and brick and other materials. You need to have the green shades for vegetations. The gray series are really important. The black marker is necessary, and orange and blue for the sky. But here we don't need them because we don't have a sky. In isometric, because it's the top view, we don't have the sky. So first you decide about the colors that you want to use. Then I want to put colors on these wooden parts. You see how I take the marker with these wide tip, you put color, and then with this narrow tip you just make it neat. Here again like this. Now here as well, but keep the thickness white. Here I want to keep this part white, but if it's hard for you, don't worry, because after that you can use your white pen to whiten it again. Now I have a darker shadow for these parts near the cylinder I want to darken this deck because the shadow of this cylinder is casting on this bridge. Now the inside gets less light, so it should be darker. You see, when you make this contrast, your flat coloring changes to a real professional architecture rendering. Okay, let me find my white pen. You see, you can just remove these colors from the parts that you want to keep them white. Okay, so for all the colors, green, brown, blue, that you use, you need two shades, one darker, one lighter, to give this contrast. Okay, here again with the wide tip, and here with the narrow tip, I just make the boundaries neat. The inside. Okay, if the sun is shining from the right, so this surface would, all the parts would be darker, and there is no any shadow here, just a bit the interior part. Okay, this inside, this tunnel would be a bit darker. Okay, so you can have this roof brown, but let me decide it later. Now I want to use my black pencil and the fader to fade this pencil touch. Okay, so this part is dark because it's opposite the sun. So I darken with pen. You see that I'm not very careful about the pencil, because after that I want to fade with this fader. And as we move to the right, the form gets more light and we don't have much darkness. Okay, maybe just the shadow of this bridge. You see, it's the sun ray, the angle of the sun ray. You know, all the these techniques of drawing vegetations and how to draw shadows and shades, they're all in exterior sketch course, which you can learn so many, all the techniques that you need for exterior sketch course. But here in this course I try to teach how you ideate with basic 3D forms to how to be creative. Okay, now here. Okay, I take my gray marker, which is WG3, because of the sun ray. Here would be in shade, and the shadow on this skylight. Now here is opposite the sun, so I darken this part as well, and the shadow on this part. Okay, under this roof would be dark. The left side of the window frames and all this side is opposite the sun. Okay, so because of the sun ray, I will have this shadows for the columns, the darkness. Here a bit. And here, which the cube meets the cylinder, a bit darker. Okay, the body of the cylinder here. Okay, the sun ray from this point, and this point. So all here is dark. You can soften with the gray marker. As well. Under this bridge would be dark too. The shadow of this deck on the ground. Here would be opposite the sun, so the background. Okay, let's draw some vegetation, but before that I want to add some black stain. The left side of the window frames. Okay, so with the lighter green, I start from the tip of the pyramid shape trees. I come down, I just draw some stains resemble the trees to just show the environment. Maybe some here taller, here, maybe one here, taller and shorter, different sizes. Maybe here, because of this junction we have 4 areas around, you can draw trees. Okay, now with the darker green, which is deep green BG52, the code, you can darken the opposite side of the sun of these trees, because trees are 3D forms like buildings. They get shade and shadows in our drawing. So here you just add darkness to give them 3D feeling, and also the shadows of the trees on the ground. The left part would be the shadows. You see, when we add this darkness under the trees and the shadows on the ground, it feels that now they are not floating, they are on the ground. They're not suspended. the shadow of the trees will have the same shape of the trees. Okay. Now I want to take my dry pastel, or you can just use a color pencil, a brown one, or maybe the olive green, just color the background. But here I prefer to use this brown. Now let me find my razor to powder this dry pastel. You just simply put the powder of the color you want to use on the sheet. You can use the green or the cream or the yellow, whatever, to show the ground. Actually, as I said before, we don't have the sky in isometric system. Now with a tissue, you just soften and spread this powders. To just show the background. If you don't have dry pastel, don't worry, you can just use your color pencil. Color pencil is a good tool for this rendering technique. You can darken, you can use darker color to darken the environment, or you just can leave it in this way. Maybe some parts would be darker. This technique is actually, we don't need, with this technique we don't need to put a lot of time on coloring and drawing the background, because in this way we can also show the background and at the same time we can make our drawing look more look bolder and in an attractive way. You see? And the other positive point about dry pastel is you can use eraser to just erase the parts that you don't want them. You can correct what you draw. For example, here you want to keep this circle white, you can remove the colors, the dry pastel, with an eraser. That's it. Okay. Maybe the shadow of this bridge on the ground would be a good idea. I just want to add some darker parts to make my drawing look bolder. So I prefer to show the shadows with black. That's it. Now the shadow of the columns. Maybe under this roof would be better to be black. You know, the secret of rendering is just making contrast. Okay, maybe some black trees in the background. The shadow of this deck on the ground. But as you saw, it's better to darken our sketch and put darker spots step by step. Because you can actually add darkness whenever you want, but if you just darken somewhere that you don't, it was a mistake, or you don't want it anymore, there's no way for correction. But layer by layer you can add darkness to actually be more careful. You see, if I add the shadow of this bridge on the ground, all the drawing will be covered, so I don't draw the shadow of this bridge on the ground with black. Just with gray, you can show that you know what is happening to this bridge. Okay, so actually that's it. As you watched and follow, you saw that we created a form and we created an architectural building based on simple geometry, which was drawing a cylinder and make an oblique cut in this form. So you can be creative and draw some other forms based on this geometry and create more creative buildings. I hope you enjoyed. You can actually add human figures to make your drawing look more real and come to life. Please follow the steps. Don't be hard on yourself, but and don't be perfectionist. Just practice and share your sketches with me. You can contact me on Instagram, and you can share your drawings with me even here, and I can enjoy your drawing as well. Thanks for watching. Bye.